What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Packet Live PKT Community Roundtable. How you guys doing today? It's a lovely Saturday. I'm thinking of the weekend already. It's Wednesday, June 25th at 9:07. How are you guys doing?
A lot better than you, I guess. I know what day it is. It is Wednesday.
Yeah, the days just start to blend together when you are living the family life.
Yeah.
Kids wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You go to bed at midnight. It's called lack of sleep. One day you'll get there, Josh.
I'm getting there because we've been staying up late pitching channels to different creators. So I was up till what were you up till like 1 or something?
Yeah, at least.
Trading.
Yeah, we've been grinding. It's been, yeah, for sure. It's been almost very interesting, different task than we've been doing for many, many years, bringing this kind of connection between the Packet Network and Packet TV, and it's funny because for all these years, everyone's like, oh, what's the utility for the Packet Network? And yeah, building the utilities taking a lot longer, and we're not even in the tech side specifically of it. It's really been a content component, because when people arrive at Packet TV, it's going to be about, well, what's the content that's on Packet TV, and also making sure that there's audience. And so all that is rooted in the content, because the content draws the audience, and then the platform is pretty much the last piece, even though it's obviously the most important piece. It's like the vehicle that everyone will access this content. But we've been having to put a lot of effort into the content, specifically in building out channels. And it's been really fun, actually, because it's getting involved with major celebrities, sports teams, big brands that everyone knows and is excited about. And that's been really exciting, challenging, but exciting.
And being creative too, coming up with cool ideas of how these channels could work, because it's a 24-hour channel. It's interesting relationship to channels, because growing up, you always saw the channels, this CNN channel or the TNT channel, and you just think of them as like a collective of channels. When you start getting into a single channel of like what happens on that channel over a 24-hour period, it's just like a trippy thing to start thinking about, like what does play at 6 p.m. versus 3 a.m. and how you start taking all that content and creating linear programming.
Yeah, and the fact that you need a lot of programming. You need hundreds and hundreds of hours, somewhere between 300 and 600 hours per year, and then continuous. You have to keep, you don't have to recycle 100% of that programming, but a good percentage of it is going to have to be fresh every single year. And then depending on what the channel is, it's like, is there going to be some live content? Who's creating original content to continue to kind of feed the interest of the viewers. And then how do you get user adoption, people who are going to spend time on these channels? Because like the success of Packet TV is going to be a collective of people viewing lots of different channels, people coming back. Maybe there's just one channel people are really interested in, a different channel that people are interested in, so they're going to have diverse interests. And then there's a convergence of some AI technology that's really driving the personalization. This is kind of the next big piece of connected TV in particular, is about personalization. And I was just listening to a really cool podcast, actually, that's called The Speed of Culture. And yeah, I've been listening to a bunch of really good podcasts on this particular podcast. And I was just listening to the CMO of Samsung Electronics America, who was on the show and talking about personalization. They didn't get into a lot about CTV, but talking about like all the different technology and brands and efforts that Samsung is focused on, and also the different demographics. And it kind of opened my eyes to like how diverse the demographic targets are now that they're already talking about, there's Generation X, and now coming up is Generation Alpha. I think your kids, Jeremy, are Generation Alpha, if I'm not mistaken. But
God help
and,
us.
Generation Alpha. That's what's up.
I wonder. I don't know what the exact cutoff
No, it's
is.
definitely what they are.
Yeah. So I think it is. But yeah, because they're already thinking about these people who are like, under 10 years old, because they're like the true digital natives. They're all growing up with a cell phone.
iPad in front of their face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
connected TV from
it's
birth.
actually really interesting. Having kids in, well, my eldest from 2016, but what they are into and how influenced they are by kind of the cult, like what's happening in the pop culture, like
Yeah.
and how and the type of music they listen to and like games they play. When we were growing up, we were playing with a Game Boy, right? These guys are growing up playing with Nintendo Switches and PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
So and they have access to YouTube. We didn't have that shit.
Yeah.
So like they're being able to have instant content delivered to them 24 hours a day. And I see the influence of that shit. Like if one of my kids wants to watch something and I'm like, no, we're not watching any more TV for the day. It's a meltdown. And I actually see this shit on online too, where like, they say limit screen time, but it's like, bro, like it's so hard because like if you're trying to live your life and work and do shit, like it's like your own personal babysitter. I know it's fucked up to say, but it's so true. Like if you just plop them down, so the content that they're going to be ingesting is so different than the content that we got to ingest. Like we had to watch a VHS movie if we wanted to watch anything like that, or we had to watch there, like on TV, you had like 4 channels and it was like fuzzy. Now they have friggin' Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Amazon.
Yeah.
The only channel that was fuzzy was the Playboy channel. And
that wasn't fuzzy. That was just blurry, dude.
You could see a nipple.
You could see it. It was just a little bit blurry.
Now they got
use your imagination.
Yeah. No imagination these days with the internet.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. The other thing is just
instant access.
From an educational standpoint, because also anything that you're interested in, you can watch anything on YouTube and get information. Like I remember back when I was gaming, like you'd have to buy these strategy books from like the game store, and like you would have like Zelda and you'd have the book and you'd be like, what, how do you finish this level? And it would like have
cheat codes.
Yeah.
Or
it's like
cheat codes.
It doesn't, nowadays it's just you have someone
watch
people game.
It even goes a step further with like just toys. Now all the toy instructions are on an app. So like Legos, when you build a Lego, they don't give you a booklet anymore. They make you log on to the Lego app, type in the code on the box, and then those are the instructions. I remember when we were little and I forget what happened. You were able to like get access to like the instructions to build like a police station or something. And we had so many like extra Legos that we actually used the instructions to build do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
Was it a police station or a fire station? Police station. Yeah. And we just built a police station, which is excess Legos. Nowadays, dude, anybody could build anything. You just got to go onto the app and you could build this stuff.
Right.
But we just thought
buy anything. Yeah.
You don't even need to buy it, dude. You can just go
buy special pieces. You don't have to buy a set. Like they sell you.
Well, I'm just saying if you're like a Lego connoisseur and you have shit ton of Legos, you could literally build anything with instructions because you can just go onto their app and pull the instructions. But back then, somehow we were like got this gold booklet with like, no one else had it or something.
Crazy. So, well, yeah, you're right. So there's a huge change in the culture in that regard. And yeah, so as it relates back to what we're doing with Packet TV. Look, here's the story. So we built this network. We spent the last 6 years building this network. This network's on 34 countries, and you have this content network, right? So it's like, well, now what do we do with that? What's the utility of it? And so the focus now is building out Packet TV. It'll be a platform that will be an app that will also be on, or downloadable on connected televisions beginning next year. And then it's going to be about filling up that app with channels. So it'll launch with 100 channels next year. And yeah, and 20 of those will be original channels that we're in charge of building out right now. So that's been our focus, is identifying what are high value channels with major celebrities, major brands that are in, and then a combination of sports. Nothing's like, I would say, original programming, but it will be some like library content with like known films and known shows. And then a major celebrity who's involved with that channel. It could be a major music artist. We're talking to some huge music artists, just massive people with 50 million followers on Instagram plus, and having them be the faces of a channel. And we're also talking to some major sports leagues, as well as teams, as well as brands and publishers that have huge audiences in various different sports that will have their own channels. These channels will also be syndicated across a lot of different other FAST TV platforms. So it's not like everything's going to just be exclusive to Packet TV, but the idea is that also Packet TV will have some exclusive things happening as well. And yeah, so we've just been building that out, and it's been a shift from what we've been doing, particularly because these channels actually make a lot of money. Like individually, these channels can make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Some of them are even doing more than that. Some of them can even be doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So each channel can be in it of itself a very powerful piece of business. Have 100 of them, it's actually extremely lucrative. I'm like running the numbers on the financial model, and yeah,
and that's not even, and this is just, and correct me if I'm wrong, like talking about building these channels first while we build Packet TV, and then Packet TV will, the vision of what we've been discussing here with creators being able to build their own fast channels or contribute content to fast channels or find distribution throughout, the different networks and stuff. That's part of the platform that the network will be hosting. Is that correct?
Yeah, essentially, Packet TV and, or I should say Packet Hub and Creator Hub are already live. And right. There's a lot more that we want to do with that to really popularize it. But at the end of the day, we think that Packet TV ends up being a bit of the grail, like the top of the mountain. And then if you want to get onto the top of the mountain, that you would go through this like feeder opportunity. And the feeder opportunity will be Creator Hub and Packet Hub. And Packet Hub is autonomous. Like anybody can just go and use it, right? You can use Packet DNS. You can set up your content for distribution, and you don't need permission to do that. And then same thing with Creator Hub, and then from there, we want to have, and we haven't quite delineated how this would function yet, but from there, you would have the ability for popularized content brands, even channels, to get access to Packet TV. And again, it's not just even Packet TV. Creator Hub could be a conduit for getting on other streaming TV platforms, getting on Roku, getting on Samsung Plus, getting on Pluto TV or Tubi. So, and these are just viable places to make money right now for content creators. So I think the key is like Packet TV was always a big infrastructure project. The second piece of Packet TV was obviously, the network connectivity and VPN. So all that stuff's incredibly powerful, incredibly resourceful. Then Packet DNS was built out, and that provides the ability for people to have, web pages, free for life, web URLs, I should say. And the last piece of the puzzle, and this is the piece we haven't quite delivered on yet, which I'm particularly excited about, is just being able to transact for content in Packet. Like, that's the other piece of it, is having essentially like your wallet integrated into your television experience. And that was always something we spoke about a half decade ago. And with the advancement of base and the kind of low friction and low transaction costs, and the quality of the wallets and the integrations, I think that's now more possible than ever. Ironically, no one's really doing that. I can't believe no one's doing that, because it's low hanging fruit. And it's not like it would be particularly challenging. But nobody's really integrated not just putting a wallet on a TV, because I'm sure somebody's experimenting with that, but just having it be easy to, pay for content, and having the content be high quality. That's the key, because I'm sure there's people doing it.
Samsung kind of did that with the NFT wallet technology.
But those marketplaces were just never popularized. I just think you're missing that one piece. And the piece that we're particularly interested in is sports, as a start. And I think there's a novelty potential. And again, it doesn't just have to be sports. It could be subscriptions. But, you can pay for subscriptions with Apple TV, with Apple Pay. You can pay for subscriptions easily with your credit card. I mean, that's all, possible. But they just haven't made it so it's like easy to just pay with crypto or a stable coin or something like that. So, certainly as we get into what the functionality of Packet TV, for sure, want to have the ability to pay for things on Packet TV. Now, of course, Packet TV is being designed as free ad-supported streaming television. So it's free. Like, there is no cost. But we believe that there are opportunities that can exist on Packet TV upon launch that creators could choose to charge for. And under those circumstances, technically speaking, you should be able to pay with Packet. So that's the direction that we're going. It's not the place that we're starting. Why? Because if you gate it with a paywall, then the cost to acquire the customer goes up exponentially.
Right.
And ultimately, the key, and we've always been focused on this, the key is just how do you get the largest amount of user adoption possible. And so the initial target is that. Yeah,
if you get it with a paywall is one thing. You get it with a crypto wallet, it's a whole nother thing too.
Yeah, even harder.
Yeah,
even harder to get.
They always say projects succeed when people are touching, or crypto projects succeed is when people are touching it without knowing that they're touching crypto. So it's like right now, I think in particular, like the amount of people on Earth who are involved in crypto is such a small fraction of the population, or even just in America, even if we just want to narrow it down to, where we're located, or just, and so it's like, it's a perfect example. This is the best example. Okay. My father-in-law, he was visiting just last week, and I've been talking to him about Bitcoin for the last 4 years, and when he was here, he was like, "You're going to be really proud of me. Look what I did." And he bought Bitcoin through Venmo. And so what he was doing, what he does is every, week or a couple weeks, he would throw 25, 50, $100 into his wallet. And he's just sitting there watching his Venmo grow. And I was like, well, he's like, do you suggest? I was like, well, what you really should do is you should put a repeated purchase every day by $20 or $10.
Yeah.
That way, every month you're getting the amount of money that you want to spend, but you're getting it at everyday price at the price at each day, so that your DCA would either be down. That's the best way to DCA in, instead of buying it at $100 today, because then tomorrow it could be down. So you just keep on paying these small amounts and you build up your bag that way. But Venmo doesn't let you do that. They won't let you do reoccurring payments. So I was like, oh, well, why don't you do it on Coinbase? Well, Coinbase charges you $4 a transaction. Venmo only charges you $2 a transaction.
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, look, then maybe it makes more sense to just stick on Venmo until your bag gets really big. Then you just transfer it to your Coinbase wallet.
I wonder what Robinhood does.
Or I wonder what the fees are now on Binance US now that they accept USD bridge now.
Yeah.
Oh, they do accept a USD bridge.
Yeah, they
now.
just opened. They just got back. Just got it back up and running. So that could be an option for them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, look,
Coinbase can be the worst, obviously.
The point that I'm making here is that for everyday people, especially people in their mid to late 60s, can now have access to crypto using an app that they are familiar with.
Yeah, and feel as
going on to Binance or Coinbase, those are not familiar apps. They make you go through all these hoops. You got to add in your all this information. But with Venmo, your information's already there because you've been using it for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Can you withdraw the crypto off of Venmo? Or do you have to sell it?
I think you have to sell it. Yeah, you have to sell it.
You have to sell it.
You have to sell. Oh, yeah, you can withdraw it and send it to another exchange.
You can?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can send it.
Dumb if you could.
So anyway, I thought that that's the idea here. It's like, if we can get people are already using fast channels and they don't even know they're using a fast channel. Like Samsung, crazy. And they're using Samsung Live TV. Like Plus. I didn't even know Samsung Plus. I didn't know Samsung Plus was a fast channel network.
Yeah.
Until we started going down this path. And so people don't even know that they're using fast when they are. And so if people start using a fast channel and they're getting and all of a sudden they're getting payments, or you're using a fast channel built on a crypto network, whether they know it's on a crypto network or not, they don't care because they're only there for the content. Yep. So that's the idea. Like they're touching it without knowing. And then all of a sudden, which would be super next level, is that people who watch content on the fast channel, they get rewarded and they have a crypto wallet on their TV, and then they can just watch their friggin' money just grow because of the content they watch. Now that would be sick.
It would be cool. I mean, there's got to be a way to be able to
gamify.
Deploy. I was gonna say it could be a way for you to deploy a node, on your TV or something. We always said that. We always and I mean now with what it takes to set up a node, on Packet, you technically would be very limited issue with setting up, with having your TV.
It would have to be like another token. It couldn't be PKT. It would have to be.
What we were talking about is making your TV a CJDNS node.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but my point is that it would have to be something different than PKT, or how they have for VET, right? VET has VET, but then they have their little sub token VTHO, and so that's what it would have to be. So everybody who signs up gets an airdrop of some kind, 100 PKTF, for fast, and
what they would get rewarded,
and then that would automatically get staked, and then they could just watch their tokens build up.
Why wouldn't you do it with Packet though?
Well, because where would the tokens come from? You know what I'm saying?
Come from the same from the same
but
place
people,
they come from. Right now.
well, then they would have to buy Packet to
Oh
get
yeah,
their
you
token
buy the
initially.
sync. I see what you're
I'm
saying.
just
Yeah,
saying that
Saying to
this
do an
is a way.
airdrop. I see what
Yeah,
you're
it
saying.
would. Yeah, what I'm
just do
saying
an
is that
airdrop
like,
from sync, yeah.
yeah, that you just do an airdrop and then it doesn't matter because PKT is pegged.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're right. There is a way to do it. I haven't even wrapped my mind around it, but there's a way to do it and a way to create value and a way for, and this was always the challenge. Like the challenge is the fiat challenge. That's just always been the challenge. Like, how do you get from your bank account, from cash to crypto? And that is, look, the one benefit 2025 will go down in history as a turning point for the crypto industry with what's happening in the, I don't know if the right word is deregulation, but maybe it's just actual regulation, which is good, which is opening up the banking institutions to stable coins. And as that happens, and to your point, like as more people get familiarized with crypto and the access point to crypto and the barrier to entry, I should say, to crypto keeps lowering, like what's happening with Venmo and PayPal, and the fact that crypto exchanges can now do ACH again. It's going to be easier for people to get access and to load their wallet, right? And I think loading your wallet with credits or whatever you need to do, it could be as simple as that. By the way, it's like, imagine if you turn on Packet TV and a little thing comes up and it says, hey, do you want to, this is what you get if you load your account with credits. You want to put $5 on your account. And then just with Apple Pay, it could literally just like load your account with some Packet. Like that simple. Or with a credit card, you just like put your credit card in, boom, it just loads it with $5. And then it's like, oh, do you want to stake this $5 and start earning blah, blah, blah per day? And it's like, okay. Now, and to your point, it's like all of a sudden now your TV's paying you. There's a way to do it. It's going to get easier. Like the next year it's just going to get a lot easier. So I'm really, really curious to see where this goes. And yeah, we just want to ride the wave on this, on this particular use case. Like if you're sitting and listening to this and you've been involved with Packet for a couple of years, you got to be excited with the prospect of a crypto project being involved with a distribution network, being involved with a global mesh network, being involved with crypto incentives, like, and then targeting building up multi-million user base for that network. So that's the holy grail right there. Like that's what it's all about. And the biggest projects in crypto, all top 100 projects in crypto, have large user bases. Now, the people who hold, let's say some of these Dino coins like Tezos or Stellar or, just projects that have been around, Cosmos, for a long time. And they're all down. I mean, every single crypto project is absolutely just obliterated right now. I'm just looking at like from Matic, Polygon, like these are like some of the most legit projects in the entire game, and they're just crushed with just very little hope for those communities. So I mean, everybody is suffering, unless I would say the only people who are like holding strong right now is like the XRP community and the Bitcoin community. And then like, I think if you're an ETH holder, you're just like, someday we're going to break 2,800.
It's just kind of crazy to me that Bitcoin is still hovering where it's hovering.
Dude, it's like up. It's a Wednesday pumper, isn't it?
What?
Yeah. We're Wednesday, 107,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, doing Bitcoin things, swinging, 8 to 10% every other day, just zigzagging. And then you got ETH going the opposite direction for whatever reason. But look, Bitcoin's, everyone's piling into Bitcoin, which is super interesting because, now that, I guess, as we said on the last couple of streams, the US just runs the crypto market now, Trump farts and crypto moves around. But America went and dropped some 30,000-pound bombs on a foreign nation, and Bitcoin barely went below $99,000. I don't even think it went below. I think it went to like 99.1, and then bounced back up over 105,000 the next day. So, you don't want to be shorting Bitcoin right now. It's that's not a good decision. But the rest of the crypto market is in the absolute shitter. It's just nothing can get moving. It's got a bunch of stable coins out there, I guess. But there's, I think, the prospect of some innovation. Like, what is it going to be? Like, what's going to be the thing that's going to make AVAX go back to $50? Is it just like, interest rates going down in America? Is that we're sitting around waiting for the fall and the interest rates are going to go down and everything's going to leg up 20, 30, 50%? Probably. That's probably all you're waiting for. But it's like, what's the innovation that these major projects are going to bring to the table? Like, are millions of people going to be using an AVAX powered application? I don't know. I couldn't point to one. I'd love for someone in the comments, let us know which crypto project is going to be the first to get millions of users, like normies. And I'm really, really curious. And I'm not just talking about people just buying a shit token just to see if it pumps. Like, which project is bringing like utility that millions of people are going to use? Because I can't really point to any, other than, I guess you could say, Bitcoin. And I mean, the millions of people that do use ETH, and I do still believe in ETH. I know a lot of people talk shit about ETH. I've always been a huge fan of ETH as long as I've been in crypto, since 2016. But the millions, I do think there's millions of people that are using ETH, but it's all broken up and fragmented across all these different projects within the Ethereum ecosystem. That's why I still believe in ETH. And I mean, that's why I still believe in any of these projects that are true ecosystem projects, because it's like the sum of the parts. But when you talk about the ecosystem projects, right? So the Cosmos and the Stellars, that you could say, oh, well, 1 million people use it because like it's fragmented across 20 or 20,000 projects that are all, got a couple hundred people in their community that are active. But like, name one project that has the prospect, of 1 million people using it for a very specific use case. And that's, I think that's hard to find right now for crypto. I think where the real opportunity is going to come is stable coins. I think this is going to be this is the reason why Circle went public and went up 500-600% in the first week, because
where's it now?
Writing's on the wall. I thought it was at $200 last time I saw it, but I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at the chart in a minute. But yeah,
I'd be curious.
I did not buy it, and I regret it when I saw it at $30 IPO. That was a mistake. Yeah, it's at $203.
It's at what?
$3. Also, what's crazy is that Circle, you can actually find this news. Kathy Wood was an IPO investor in Circle, and Circle pumped to like 150, and then it legged up to like 160 or something. And then there was like that, I forget exactly what the news release was, but it was like some bad market news. And she unloaded like a healthy position. She still holds it, but she unloaded like 30% of the bag, which obviously had a huge profit. And then it was like a day or two later, they announced the stablecoin legislation, the Genius Act, got passed, and Circle just pumped over 200. And so she like unloaded it like days before she would have gotten like another 30% leg up. Like she like missed the 30%, like on a healthy position. Like I think she put a few $100 million into it.
Crazy.
That was a tough one. But
tough day at the office.
Yeah, tough day at the office. I mean, but she's
whatever.
She's doing
really
fine.
Tough day at her office.
Yeah, it's never a tough day at her office.
Only made 100 mil instead of
130.
All right, cool. Well, there's lots to be done.
That's
Yes,
the
indeed.
update. Yeah, that's the update. We'll just keep coming on. So look, here's the lay of the land. Caleb's out today. He's trying to buy a house, so he's bumping around in France with his family on the road buying a home. So congrats, Caleb. Good luck. I hope you find your spot. And then and we will be back here every Wednesday, and we're just gonna broadcast the progress. And one of the things that we're gonna get done, just as a quick recap, network steward housekeeping, is we're working on an AI agent for the Twitter. That's something that we've been working on. So I don't know when that's going to go live exactly. We're experimenting with a few options. We'll obviously keep everyone informed, but that was something that we think can help communicate around Packet and automate the communications around Packet, and work on building some of the social stuff with regards to Twitter, or X, I should say, in particular. I haven't seen, and I'm sure it exists, but I haven't seen an AI agent for
Telegram.
Have you guys seen that? I wonder.
Well,
I wonder
we
if
have.
you
We
can,
saw what Powell was doing. Those are AI agents.
is it AI agent for?
Oh yeah, Powell is what Powell is doing.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, we should look into that too.
They wanted $1,500 though, or actually
Yeah,
they wanted an Ethereum one.
They wanted like an ETH or something. Yeah, but what? You can just go to ChatGPT. I actually saw this. You could be like, make me a AI agent that works with make.com, and it will just like give you a JSON file, and then you can just like educate it and deploy it. I haven't done that. I've seen it be done for X, but I haven't seen it done for Telegram. I'm sure it's possible, but we have to do some research. But yeah, our goal is to make some AI agents. If you're in the community, you want to help out with this project, we'll contribute some Packet to, if you want to jump on the team and assist. So hit us up in the chat, and let's work together on that one. That could be really, really cool, and it'd be awesome to just have. There's kind of two things that we were envisioning for the AI agent. One is obviously being able to answer questions and talk about Packet, but the other thing is just to be able to like respond to world events, and just having like the Packet X just interacting with a lot of different accounts and participating. So there's some really cool stuff that's possible there. And so we want to experiment with it. And if you've done it before, you want to get involved, hit us up in the chats on Discord or on Telegram.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please like, retweet, share with your communities, share with your friends. If you guys have questions, just holler into the Telegram or Discord or on X. And we will be back here next week. Same time, same place.
Cool. Have a good one, guys.
All right, later.